Happy New Year, fellow adventurers! At the beginning of 2024, I made a schedule of upcoming games to be released, most of which didn't have an official release date, so I took my best guess. So next we have Rosewater from developer Grunderslav Games, Francisco Gonzalez. I think I'm going to be optimistic, and I'm going to put it right at the beginning of the year here. I think I'm going to put it on 1st of January. Turns out most of my guesses were way off, although I did predict that Prim would come out around Halloween. So now all the games that didn't get released in 2024 are now expected in 2025, such as Old Skies, Rosewater, Foolish Mortals, Nier, and Heir of the Dog. If you'd like to know more about this year's adventure game plans, check out Visik83's annual video with insight from the devs themselves.
I know I've said this for many years, but 2025 is going to be the year of Rosewater.
There's also a few games that already have release dates, such as the long-awaited Asylum on March 6th, Elroy and the Aliens on April 2nd, and All Fridges Are Psychotic on January 10th, which is also my birthday. And what better way to celebrate your birthday than with a psychotic fridge? The latest Carol Reed game, Murder Malady, also came out as usual on January 1st, and it marks the 20th game in the series, as well as an appearance by some geek wearing a Barrow Hill Radio t-shirt. So, what are my games of the year in 2024? Out of all the great adventures over the last year, I rounded my goatees down to a solid top 5. And here to help me count them down is my friend Potu. Potu! Exactly. Before getting into it, I'd like to make a few honourable mentions. 2024 saw the triumphant return of Broken Sword Shadow of the Templars, which was reforged by the expert swordsmiths at Revolution Software, featuring enhanced graphics and audio that bring the classic to life like never before. Riven, the sequel to some obscure game called Myst, was also re-rivened into a fully 3D environment that lets you poke around into every nook and cranny of the Riven world, exploring more familiar places as well as some totally unfamiliar ones. I was also psyched for the remake of Silent Hill 2 as it's one of my favourite games of all time, only to find that my laptop couldn't handle it. Beyond Shadowgate was originally planned to be the official sequel to the NES Classic, but was never released, and instead a very different Beyond Shadowgate was made for the TurboGrafx CD. Thanks to Kickstarter though, the creator's vision was finally realized, and is a nostalgic adventure that expands on every aspect of the original, including many more rooms and maybe a few too many deaths. Speaking of going back to the past to play the adventure games that don't suck ass, Inspector Waffles' Early Days perfectly recreates the aesthetic of the Game Boy, as once again we play as Cat Detective Waffles, solving new cases such as the theft of a rare game cartridge or some missing videotapes from Barkbuster. Wow, what a difference! Barkbuster video! Finally, before we get to my top goatees, I'd like to shout out Brownie's Adventure, which didn't quite make my list, but I had a real laugh playing it, and the sequel even has its own theme song.
Brownie's Adventure, Arnie's Adventure, point and a click. Brownie's Adventure, Adventure. You should all venture through the Tinkerbells and magic spells, but caution as you go. Brownie's Adventure, Brownie's Adventure.
And now for my official top 5 goatees of 2024. Number 5, The Legend of Skye by Point and Pixel Adventures. This game feels like a spiritual successor to Monkey Island, from the classic verb interface and pixel art to the close-up dialogue scenes and music. play as Skye, a young druid charged with saving her people from an evil sorcerer. Being a druid comes with its own set of rules, the most important of which is not to put pineapple on pizza, which as we all know is just wrong. Sometimes though, it's necessary to break the rules in order to solve a puzzle, and the puzzles in this game can definitely pose a challenge even for hardcore adventurers. For example, I spent ages trying to figure out how to smuggle a cupcake out of the bakery. When you finally figure things out though, it's highly satisfying, and Legend of Skye is a triumph of adventure gaming.
Number 4, Empress Quest Full Moon Saga by 9 Stories Tower Studio.
Empress Quest is dedicated to a Scotty dog called Kiba, otherwise known as Canis lupus familiaris, not to be confused with Canis lupus lupus.
Canis lupus lupus, European wolf.
Kiba's beloved pet pig, Empress, is stolen by 3 sneaky mice, and Kiba must jump down the mouse hole to rescue her. We end up in a strange place called Moon Valley and set out on a quest to find the mysterious Moon Mother. On the way, we meet some creatures great and small, from a humble earthworm to a great leviathan. Those pesky mice are imprisoned in a giant mitten for their verminous deeds, though I'm not sure if a few pencils are enough to hold them. Empress Quest enchanted me with its whimsical watercolor artwork, and it feels like stepping into a storybook.
Number 3, The Phantom Fellows by Strummer Games.
This is the game I played the most in 2024, and I still didn't get the grand total of 100 Steam achievements, stopping at 69.
69, dudes!
I have as much to say about the Phantom Fellows as there are pixels to click on, and will be making a full-length review of it or developer Paul Corman might kill me.
Alright, yeah, it's true. I made some physical threats to Geek's well-being. But I think it's important to differentiate here that I said I would cut him, not kill him, and that there's possibly a difference. Next of all, I would like to assure everybody that all of my threats have had a nice undertone of sexual tension to them that Geek has found confusing.
Number 2, The Crimson Diamond by Julia Minamata.
I've been following Julia's progress making the Crimson Diamond over the last few years, and I'm delighted to see all that time come together to make a true gem of a game. I'm also going to make a review video on it, or Julia might not send me a holiday card with her mum's special thumbprint cookie recipe.
That's right. No thumbprint cookies for you until you make that video.
Ba 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 ba. Number 1, FLAKE, The Legend of Snowblind by Dujay something. This guy.
If you watch my video on FLAKE, it might be no surprise that it's my personal go-to, as out of all the games I played, it left the most impression on me. I recently caught up with developer Dux, who talked about how he feels about his creation and his plans for the future of FLAKE.
So the sequel I'm thinking of is taking a bit different angle, and the working title is FLAKE Dark. I'm trying to introduce the evil character. He is king of the firefolk, something opposite to FLAKE, which possibly players could play with. And also I expect conclusion of the character Ghost, which was psychotic character in the first game. You will meet him again and finish this story with him. I'm also thinking of prequels, which was also interesting to think, because if you remember in the game you find the diary of Skye, and from that diary I was thinking also would be interesting to make that adventure into the adventure leading to the point when he meets FLAKE in the game. but you know, I'm still one man army, so I'm not sure what will be possible. I came to appreciate through development how difficult and demanding, how much love you have to put into it to pull it off. So it's kind of scary when you're at the start to start on this new adventure.
Flake is really a family affair, so Dux brought one of his kids in to talk about it.
Here is Simon the Sorcerer. He is my main voice actor in Flake game.
Oh, hey. So you're the main voice actor in the game? Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like, so which characters do you play?
So I play Simon the Bear, and that's really it.
I'm Simon the Sorcerer, riding my red dragon.
I think he's cutest thing I have ever seen.
Simon also has an artistic side and could end up taking over the Flake franchise. Let's hear his summary of the game.
I mean, I think it's really good and all that, and I had a really good time playing it.
Well, I also think it's really good, and I had such a good time playing it that Flake and I are best friends forever. What about Poto? Don't worry, Poto, you're also my BFF. Anyway, here's to a 2025 full of lots of adventures.
Sexual tension behind my threats that confuses both of us. But I think it's important to undertone of sexual tension. And we both find it confusing, and we're bored enough to see where it goes. It sounded so factual.